Want to tell you all about something very infuriating that looks like it's going kind of undercover. Not many people are picking it up. It has to do with more congressmen using a tragedy to push gun control in disguise. I want to expose it. I'm going to give you some action items. What's up, everybody? This is Jared with Guns and Gadgets, the premier source for Second Amendment news that you typically don't hear anywhere else. And today we're going to be talking about a brand new resolution that just dropped in Congress. It's House Resolution 656, introduced by Representatives Jerry the Penguin Nadler and Dan Goldman, both of New York. Now, on the surface, it looks like a simple resolution condemning a horrific tragedy, which most people would agree with. But don't be fooled, this is gun control in disguise. It's political opportunism at its best, and Nadler and Goldman are exploiting death and grief to chip away at our rights. And what makes me furious is how many of their colleagues are perfectly fine with violating the Constitution when it's politically convenient. Now, this resolution cannot be supported. It's a Trojan horse aimed right at the Second Amendment. And here's what it says. Like I said, it condemns the July 28th, 2025 Midtown Manhattan shooting. Most people would agree that that was a terrible thing. It also honors the victims. People should never be victims of senseless crimes like this. It then calls on Congress to do something abhorrent, to take action on gun violence prevention. Now, wait a minute, Jared. Don't you think that's bad? There's no such thing as gun violence. Period, point blank. Now, here's what it really means. It pushes universal background checks. It pushes bans on so-called weapons of war, and it pushes red flag laws that trample due process. And then it opens the door to federal gun registries and sweeping restrictions. Now, let's call this for what it is. A smokescreen. They're using the deaths of innocent people as cover to advance the same failed gun control policies that they've been salivating over for decades. Jerry Nadler even said it outright in his press release. We must require universal background checks, ban weapons of war, and prohibit gun ownership for those deemed at risk. Who does the deeming, Jerry? As your employer, I ask you that. Now, that is not about honoring victims. That's about stripping Americans of their rights. And here's the kicker. The resolution does nothing on its own. It's not a law. It's not binding. It's just political theater, meant to just to grease the skids for actual gun control bills that are sure to follow. Now, remember, although the Republicans do have a majority, there's been another resignation after before the current break they're on in Congress, and the Republican majority in the House is that big. Now, this is just step one. They manufacture outrage and they cloak it in sympathy so they can tug on the heartstrings, and then they hammer away at our freedoms. On July 28th is when a man assembled a rifle in Nevada and brought it into New York City. He carried out one of the deadliest shootings there in 25 years. 4 people were slain, including a New York City police officer. Tragic, absolutely. Nobody should be victims like these folks were. But instead of addressing the criminal who broke the existing laws, like murder, well, Nadler and Goldman want to punish millions of Americans who are law-abiding and had nothing to do with it. Now, Nadler cites that 78% of guns used in NYC crimes come out of state. But what he doesn't say is that criminals don't follow laws. Traffickers and violent offenders will always find ways around new restrictions. The only people that are hurt by these new laws are you and I, the law-abiding gun owners, the citizens who actually want to keep themselves and others safe. Universal background checks are a federal registry, make no mistake. The ban on weapons of war includes your AR-15, the most popular rifle in America. Red flag laws, well, they seize guns first, they violate all of our rights in the Bill of Rights, and then maybe give you due process later. Now, this resolution is just laying the foundation for what the next wave of attacks on the Second Amendment will be. And here's what enrages me. Members of Congress swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, yet Nadler and Goldman and others are trampling all over it for cheap political points. And they hide behind emotional language about victims and safety. And then the end game always is the same. More control for them and fewer rights for us. This isn't about stopping crime, because if it was, they would crack down on crime and criminals, not let them out on a cash-free bail system to reoffend in the same day, not to go easy and give them slaps on the wrist while other people are being hurt. And it's not all about the Constitution either. Instead, they're weaponizing grief to undermine the Second Amendment. And worst of all is they expect you and I to nod along and say, It's just a resolution. We don't buy it. Well, patriots, here's what we have to do. I'm going to give you 3 action items. I'm going to put them on the screen so you can pause it as you see fit. I want you to contact Representative Nadler. I'll give you his Manhattan offices and his DC office phone numbers. I want you to tell him loud and clear that we see through this and to stop using tragedy to push unconstitutional gun control. Call Goldman and do the exact same thing. Most importantly, call your representative. I want everybody to call those 2 clowns plus their own representative. Tell them not to co-sponsor or support this resolution in any single way or any other gun control bill that this paves the way for. Now here's a phone script. Often people say, Jared, what do I say to these people? Well, I'll put it on the screen for you, but keep it firm, respectful, and short because staffers take notes, but they don't stay on phone calls long. You want to say something like this. Hello, my name is, and I am a constituent, or I am an American citizen calling about House Resolution 656. I strongly oppose this resolution. It is gun control in disguise, and it violates the Second Amendment. Instead of punishing law-abiding gun owners, Congress should focus on criminals who break existing laws. I expect Representative, insert their name, to oppose H.Res 656 and any related gun control measures. If they support this, I will remember it when it is time to vote. Thank you. Okay, that's your phone call. Next, I want you to email them too. You want to put something in your subject line like this. Oppose House Resolution 656, gun control in disguise. And in the body of your email, something like this here on the screen. Dear Representative, insert their name. I am writing to urge you to oppose House Resolution 656, introduced by Representatives Nadler and Goldman. While it is framed as a response to a tragedy, it is nothing more than gun control in disguise. This resolution lays the groundwork for a federal gun registry through so-called universal background checks, a ban on the most popular rifle in America mislabeled as weapons of war, unconstitutional red flag laws that violate due process. And we do not need more restrictions on law-abiding Americans. We need Congress to enforce existing laws against violent criminals, not punish citizens who respect the Constitution. Please stand firm, protect the Second Amendment, and do not support H.Res. 656 or any future gun control measures disguised as common sense reforms. Sincerely, your full name, your city, and your state. And then I always tell people to contact them on social media. It's easy, and it's often the quickest way that they check the pulse of America with an issue. So hit them on X, Twitter, on Instagram, and Facebook, at a minimum, all 3 of those. If you don't have those accounts, create a burner account with a fake Gmail email that you can just make up in 10 seconds. It's really time to be part of the fix, guys and gals. Again, keep it short and punchy for web contact forms or for social media. This is perfect. You want to say, I strongly oppose H. Resolution 656. It is gun control in disguise, and it violates the Second Amendment. Stop exploiting tragedies to punish law-abiding Americans. I urge you to oppose this resolution and protect our rights, or I'll remember your vote next election. You want to add in however you want to add stuff, but you want to make sure you use some words like, I oppose House Resolution 656. It's gun control in disguise. I will not support any representatives who betrays the Second Amendment. Stop exploiting tragedy to punish the law-abiding, or whatever else you see fit. But I am sick and tired of Congress treating our rights like bargaining chips. We don't get our rights from them. They don't care about solving crime, and they sure as hell don't care about anything other than control and their next election. House Resolution 656 is not about safety. It's not about honoring victims. It's about disarming Americans by increments. And if we don't stand up, if we don't flood their offices with calls and emails, they will keep chipping away until nothing is left. So here's the bottom line. Get angry, get loud, and get involved. Contact Nadler and Goldman and your representative today. Make sure that they know we see through the lies and we will not stand for it. Guys, it's your right. It's your fight. And together, we will not let them win. I'm Jared. This is Guns and Gadgets. If you love the Second Amendment, if you're impassioned, if this angered you, hit the like button, share this with others, and subscribe to the channel to stay in the know. Till then, stay free, America. This is part of the process laid out by our founders. We have to employ everything before we have to employ everything. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.